It's good.
Welcome to episode 12 of Rolling Sober. Uh, I'm Coach James,
I'm White Belt Zach, for those of you who know me.
and we are combining the power of not getting high with choking fools since 2023,
Sure.
24. I can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't remember.
Hey, it's
Speaking of
part
can't
of doing
remember,
drugs.
yeah, good point. And speaking of can't remember, I've got a cup of tea today. How about that?
Whoa.
That's what do you think of that for coffee talk? I
Feels
know it's
a little blasphemous, but I'll
right.
allow it, I guess.
Yeah. This is a cup of Yorkshire tea, which is the
Mm.
finest of black teas from the UK. We had to bring it in a Ziploc bag, me and my wife.
Oh, you did some smuggling. That's good.
Yeah, I
Don't
think so.
tell.
Little light smuggling.
Sure, sure. Don't
Don't
tell
tell
the.
Trump.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like I was trying to go back, but my Revolutionary War knowledge is kind of busted. I was gonna try to say like don't tell the Tea Party about that, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
Don't tell the Bostoners about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, since
The
I'm an expat,
Bostonians.
that's right. Since I'm a real American, I'm having a nice cup of Joe here. As you can see,
My God.
coffee.
Yeah, okay, listeners who are not watching the video, his cup says coffee on it, which is
Yep.
crazy because 'cause it's got
Just in
coffee
case
in
I
it.
just in case I forget. This is just a nice little espresso. I think I spoke about it on a previous episode. I got a nice Delta espresso maker. It's like a company you see down here. You don't see it a lot in the States. It's a Brazilian, European collab. Just a nice little espresso maker. This is a nice little double of their coffee pods. I think it's a 10 intensity Brazilian coffee, of course, as I am in
Okay. 10
Brazil.
intensity flavor-wise or caffeine-wise?
Both. It's nice and
Okay,
dark. I think the highest
alright.
we go is 15. It's on a 1 to 15 scale, so we're kind of
I
on the
feel
heavier side.
I feel it's incumbent upon me now to let you know that light roast has more caffeine.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, this is cup number trace for the day, so I'm feeling all right at the
Wow.
point. Yeah,
That's
keeping it
why I
going.
switched to tea because I had 2 as well, before this.
Mm,
Okay, so we're all
uh,
caffeinated. We're
mhm,
super jazzed. Uh, we wrote down talking points today, which
mhm,
means that we're getting real adulty.
mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to share with the listeners that I completed my first semester of school. I was in Psych 1, College English 1, and Film History, which reignited my love for film, for cinema.
Is this film history class? Are you required to watch some bangers? Is that part of it?
Yeah, dude, I had to watch Casablanca, and it was dope. Have you ever seen that?
I have. It's good, eh? You know,
Yeah, it's good.
I learned a cool factoid. You know the movie Barbed Wire with Pamela Anderson, where it's
I
like
actually
she's
don't.
okay. It's just like
I
this
don't.
really gnarly B movie from the late '90s where she plays basically like a kind of a I don't know, kind of just a badass chick, wear clad in leather,
Oh,
stripper
yeah?
lady who takes on some evil dudes. But someone pointed out that that movie is just 1-to-1 Casablanca. Like it's like she works in like a bar that is sort of Rick's kind of vibe, and she's fighting these sort of quasi Nazis, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like the plot of Casablanca mapped onto this kind of terrible movie from the '90s.
Incredible. What a great idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that struck me about that movie is how many cultural references were going over my head as a kid, like Bugs
Mhm.
Bunny was always doing something Casablanca, "Here's looking at you,
Yeah.
kid,"
Yeah.
like, all these
Mhm.
lines from the movie,
Play it again,
we don't
Sam.
know. Yeah, we don't know
Mhm.
how much I mean, a lot of people don't know how much it infiltrated our culture, the
Mhm.
zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's one of I think I noticed this too. I've been watching a lot of old flicks recently too, just to like revisit some directors I like and whatnot. And I realized like some movies you watch and you're like, man, this is like every other movie I've seen. It's because they influenced so many movies, Like you're watching it
Yeah,
and you're like, this feels kind of done before. And it's like, no, it's
right,
because it's the first time someone did it, and then
right,
everyone copied these guys. It's one of those movies
right.
for show, for
Yeah.
show.
And then we had to watch Singing in the Rain, always a banger.
Hmm.
Man, we had to watch this Italian Neo-Realism film called Bicycle Thieves. You ever seen
I
that?
heard about this. I heard about it. No, I've never seen it.
It's so good. Italian Neo-Realism was like a response to all of the war propaganda films that were inflicted upon the
Hmm.
people in Italy, and then so
Yeah.
post-war, they were like, "Let's get into some real stuff," and so they would hire
Uh,
non-actors to do these acting parts, and it was very, very stripped down, no
man,
budget whatsoever, just using
I
real
love it.
people in the film. It was so good. It's so
Have
good.
you?
It's such a great story too.
Yeah. Have you seen the Florida Project?
No.
Oh man, you'd love it. It's similar vibes. It's got Willem Dafoe is the only like real legit actor in it. Everyone else is like kids. It's about like this like downtrodden group of people and young kids and their single moms mostly living in this like really shitty Florida motel outside of Disney World. And
Wow.
it's one of those movies that like it's a slow burn. It's like a kind of stays sort of heavy and depressing the whole time, but like in a dark comedy kind of way. And then, dude, the last 30 seconds of that movie is a fucking gut punch. So good. You'll
Wow.
love it. Yeah, you'll
Cool.
love it. But that reminds me of that Neo-Realism, because I remember that was a huge thing with that. Is like they hired non-actors, and it just hits better. I feel like
Yeah.
non-actors almost act better every time.
Well, as an actor, I wanna say "F you,"
Yeah, right.
but I won't, I'm for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids. I think kids it's easier because they don't know, like they don't have that awkward like what do I do with my hands thing as much. I think they
No,
just kind
no,
of am themselves.
kids can play pretend like nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, like, kids and animals always steal the show. If you, like,
Yeah,
bring an
man.
animal on stage because
Yeah.
obviously they're not thinking about, like, "Oh, no, what do these
Mm-hmm.
people think about me?"
Right.
So,
Who was I think it was Morgan Freeman or someone. No, Viola Davis said like someone asked her how she acts, like what her method is, and she said, "I try to be a cat. Like if you watch a cat, the cat's just a cat, and it's so compelling if you put a cat on stage, like you can't take your eyes off of it. So you
consider
try
the
to just
birds.
channel that energy. Yeah, man, that's what it
Consider the
is.
birds, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good, man.
So, you're getting ready to take your blue belt test.
That's right. White belt Zach is finally crossing over that great divide. It's been a while, perennial. I think I've talked about it in other episodes, but I've been a white belt for a while. I got my fourth stripe, my fourth growl on that old white belt almost over a year ago. And I think partly the reason there's been a holdup is my travel for work schedule makes training consistently difficult, even though I'll train, but I'll train at different gyms. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get that like leveling up thing. I think a lot of gyms are very, rightfully so, are very like careful about promoting people quickly if they don't know them well enough or they haven't seen their progress. So if I'm constantly changing gyms, no one feels like they know me or sees my progress.
Right.
But it's also been nice because I get all these different perspectives. It's been fun to train a lot of different places. But the side effect of that has been, yeah, I'm a perennial white belt. Been a white belt for like three years and change almost. Coming up on So hopefully it'll be a three. That's not that crazy thinking about it. I remember when I first started. I think I asked you like how long it takes for each belt, and you were like, roughly, a couple years, and then it kind of slows down the farther you get. But like white belts usually 2 years, 3 years maybe, unless you're going nuts. You can do it in less than a year if you're going all the time and stuff. So I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
feel like I'm an
if you
old
go, like,
guy.
on a regular basis and you stayed at one gym, it would probably be about a year. If you were going,
Yeah.
like, 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's happening. But the thing is, down here in my gym here in Brazil is, I think it's true in some American gyms too, just not the gym we started at. I don't think. Have you do like a proper exam? Like there's a training portion of it where you have to roll for 20 minutes straight to show your stamina or whatever, and just the physical ability to do that. And then there's a technique exam where you got to show 5 techniques from each position. So like 5 attacks from mount, 5 attacks from side control, 5 attacks from guard, that kind of thing.
Wow, that's
And
pretty
then
good,
there's
dude.
also and then there's also a written exam, which for me is extra fun because it's in Portuguese. So it'll be like a written sort of jujitsu history slash technique stuff.
That's
It's crazy.
incredible, man.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible 'cause,
Yeah.
legacy is more subjective. It's about the opinion of the
Mm-hmm.
professors, and they collaborate,
Mm-hmm.
they listen, they watch you for a while, and then they'll just decide when you're ready to get your belt. So there's no written
Yeah.
exam for us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to both ways, you know? I think written exams, some people don't test well, you know what I mean? People are just bad
Yeah,
test takers, and I think they get
yeah.
stressed out. And the memorization aspect of like thinking of all the techniques. When you're sitting there, I've been trying to do it with my partner, and we were kind of messing around, trying testing myself in the 5, just like getting in mount and being like, okay, what are 5 attacks? And in the moment, it's really hard to just kind of think of it. But then I think if you watch someone roll, like professors do, a lot, you'll see like, oh, they know how to get each situation you get into is very particular. And it's like, sure, you can like do it against a non-moving uke, but can you do it actually in time? Because
In
there's a lot of folks
combat.
I think who can probably pull off this test who can't actually pull off any of these things in real rolling,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if it's what's better. Just watch someone if you watch someone roll every day, then you can kind of say like, yeah, you're about a blue belt. And also, there's sort of the transitive property thing of, can you beat all the white belts? You should probably be a blue belt. You know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
in your similar weight class and age group, do you murk white all the other white belts, you should probably be a blue belt by that point. Yeah.
Yeah, or are you catching blue belts and stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
So it
great
kind
though.
of goes both
I think
ways.
it's really cool that you guys have a written portion of your exam though, because
Mhm.
the history knowing the history and having that be a part of
Yeah.
the leveling up is really cool. I think it's I don't know, I just think that's rad.
It
And,
is. Yeah. I think it's yeah.
5 attacks from the back?
Yeah. Everywhere.
Wow, 5 attacks from side controls and
Mhm.
mount and
Mount,
the
guard.
guard. Cool.
Mhm.
What guards do you have to exhibit? Do you just do closed guard?
Yeah. Yeah, for this one. I think you start fucking around in different guards, like, 5 attacks from Telehiva and stuff when you get to purple.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this one, I think it's just close guard. I wrote it down somewhere. It's yeah, close guard, mount, side control. I think they even have 50-50 actually, which is kind of wild
Mm.
because it's a lot of the same stuff as side control. But and then I think there's a couple just like 2 takedowns from the feet. So
50/50
pretty
is when
simple.
you have each other's legs, right? And you
Yeah.
guys
Oh,
have the
sorry, not
same
50-50.
exhibit.
North south. North south. I mean north
Okay,
south.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Wow, so you have to exhibit 5 I don't know if I know 5 attacks from north south. I don't
That's
play
the
around
thing.
in
Yeah.
that.
Whenever I bring it up with people, they're like, "I don't know." Like, it's kinda hard
Yeah.
to say. Some of it is also, like, slight variations on similar attacks, you know what I mean?
Mm.
There's, like the way they teach it down here, it's, like, technically a different technique if you're doing, like, I'm trying to think of a good example, like, different loop chokes that involve the, like, lapel and stuff. There's
Wow.
you
So
know.
you need to know now when you say attacks, is it like 5 submission attacks
Yeah.
from that position? Not like, "Oh, I'm gonna improve my position," because north-south to me is like in between. I know my
Yeah.
north-south I do my north-south choke, but basically I'm angling for a different position. A lot of
I
times
think
if I
that
have north-south,
yeah.
I'm like especially if it's a gi, I'm like ripping them up and taking their back.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Oh,
kinda
kick
I
your
think that's
leg.
part of it too. I think if it's, like, you're going to another submission from there, it counts. You know what I mean? It's just, like, ways
Mhm,
of attacking.
mhm.
Yeah, like going into like some kinda whatchamacallit? Yeah, some kinda lapel choke, and then you can also like transition to like a bow and arrow or some shit, you know what I mean? Like from that
Mhm.
area
Yeah.
or darce. You could do like
Mhm,
different darces, you know what I mean?
mhm.
That kind of
Sweet.
thing. But
Right
yeah,
on,
we'll see,
dude.
man. My brain when I think about it in the moment, like right now, if you were to try to test me, I think I would not. It would there'd definitely get some brain farts going. But I
Yeah.
think I was talking to a fellow white belt of mine here, a buddy of mine who can speak English pretty was telling me like it's kind of one of those things that it's not super strict. Like they kind of help you out. Like if you're on 4 attacks and you're like, I truly don't know what the fuck else, they'll kind of throw a hint at you or something. Like they
Yeah.
want you to succeed. And I think it's kind of it's not a formality, but the exams and stuff. I think if you really show up like you're not trying at all to do it, like and you don't know anything,
Yeah.
they'll not pass you. But I think it's sort of just a traditional
Okay,
thing.
so if you get a it's like being in school, if you get a 70%, you're
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah, unless you totally screw the pooch and like if
Right.
the rolling portion of it, if you like you're rolling for 20 minutes, but you like 15 minutes in, you throw up and you got to take a little break and then you try to get back to, just they want to see like you have heart and that kind of thing. It's like they're not gonna, yeah, yeah. Especially there's all types of people in this school I go to, so it's pretty chill and open. It's not like super aggro.
In my mind, that's a lot of attacks for a white belt because I always like the Jiu-Jitsu University book, they talk about like white belt is all about surviving, like
Yeah,
learning techniques and
defensive moves.
survival.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, learning escapes and yeah, defensive moves. But
mm-hmm.
that's cool, dude. I if
Yeah,
I knew 5 attacks from every position when I was a white belt,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that would've
You know what?
pretty dope.
Now that you're saying it, I think in translating it, I think it's more 5 techniques. Like 5 attacks is crazy, you're right. It's like
Yeah.
5 because I remember some of them involve escapes also. Like, I could
Okay, okay,
theoretically
cool.
do an escape or if it's a move that like
Sweet.
yeah, sweep, exactly, a sweep. So not necessarily just an attack, yeah, like a sweep. So,
Great.
like, a lot of those from guard, like, you're talking about, like, hip bumps and fucking
Yeah,
scissors and all that stuff too.
hip
Yeah,
hop,
yeah, yeah.
scissors, Kimura,
Yeah, I think it's anything that gets you
triangle.
point like a technique that gets you points, basically. So not
Great.
necessarily just an attack, but also, yeah,
Okay.
escapes or sweeps.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. Be good.
Great.
Be nice.
Well, good luck on your test. Speaking of
Thanks,
tests,
man.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I just finished wait, I already said this, huh? Finished my first
You
semester of school.
finish your
Did I say that?
college? Yeah, yeah, we didn't get into it too much, though. We got sidetracked
Okay.
with
Yeah, I
Casablanca.
got A's.
Hell yeah,
I got
man.
A's in all my classes. Oh yeah, we started talking about film history.
Mhm.
I had to write a bunch of papers on 1984, so I'm thinking a lot about government stuff,
The
a
book,
lot
the
about
George Orwell book, yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking a lot about fascism. I'm thinking a lot
Sure.
about totalitarian states. I wrote
Mhm.
some serious essays. If anybody
Yeah.
wants to read the essays I wrote, you can DM
They're
us and I'll send
they're
you the essays.
published. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
s
we'll
I'll
publish
send
them.
you the Word docs, and
Yeah.
you better
Anyone
not
want
critique my writing.
James's thoughts on newspeak in the yeah,
Yeah, if
metaphor for
you
modern shit.
exactly, if you want to observe the use of language in 1980,
Mhm.
you can observe it with Coach James.
Hell yeah.
Psychology was really cool. We were talking about operant conditioning and classical conditioning, which is like the Pavlovian conditioning
Mhm.
stuff. And, like all of these like developmental psychology and biopsych. Like we covered like the gambit. We talked about Freudian psychology, which is sort of like kind of like the starting point
Right.
for all of it. And they've moved away from a lot of what he taught, but some of his concepts are, really modern psychology is an expansion on some of the stuff that he was talking about. And it's all pretty genius. Like to think that this one guy came up with all of this stuff is like, wow,
Right.
dude, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Really interesting cat.
He was a busy fella. Not to bring it back to our sober guy podcast, but famous cokehead, right? I think Freud was sort of a used to get his nose dirty quite often.
Really? I
What I
didn't know
heard.
that.
Yeah, I think he was kinda
My
I don't know if
man.
it was like a constant thing, but, I know he definitely partook a bit. It was also the time when, like, you could get Coke and Coca-Cola or whatever too, I think,
Right.
so it wasn't
You were like,
as,
oh, this is pretty good stuff, actually. I think I'll
yeah,
use
I need
this.
to stay awake or yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I think I'll
write
use
my
this.
500th paper on why, dudes think about their moms a lot or whatever,
Yeah, I'll go down to
So,
the
yeah.
druggist.
Yeah, exactly, right, I think it was that kinda thing. You could, like, get at a store, but
They
that's
didn't
awesome,
have,
man.
like, psych meds at the time. They were like, "This takes all your
That
bad feelings and turns them into good feelings, so I'll
I
just do
more or
this."
less. I think more or less, yeah, that was kind of the vibe. Yeah, they gave people yeah, women who had the what is it, like, the vapors or whatever, the who were, what's the really,
Hysterical.
problematic yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
hysterical, like, the
Yeah,
horrible words
they
for
were in
women, yeah.
hysteria. Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh,
My
yeah,
god. Yeah, we were talking a lot about
crazy
how, like,
time.
psychology was essentially dominated by white men for the longest time, and now,
Mhm,
a lot of that stuff's changing, which is awesome because not a lot of populations were being represented. We were talking a lot
mhm.
about how we live in here in America, we live in a very individualistic culture. I think Brazil's probably slightly individualistic as well.
Ish, yeah, you could definitely tell there's less so here. There's
Yeah.
definitely more focus on, like, keeping sort of family units together and also the community somewhat. Not to
Yeah.
the extent of other places, but it's kind of in the
Yeah.
probably in the middle compared to America. America's
Right.
definitely the most, though.
Yeah, when you look at, like, the more collectivist cultures, there's a different psychology involved,
Yeah.
like, across the board. So, really interesting stuff, man. Psychology was really
Yeah.
cool. But
Yeah, it was awesome.
reading psychology, like or rather studying psychology while reading 1984 and, like, thinking
Mhm.
constantly about cognitive dissonance was a trip,
I
you
bet.
know? And I
No, it's gnarly.
and I'll just get into this, like, this story. I had a psychiatric emergency recently. I I got sciatica really bad, like, so bad that I
Oh, man.
couldn't walk. I couldn't
Mhm.
walk and I needed to go to work. So I went to the urgent care and I was prescribed, like, some I was prescribed an oral course of steroids and some muscle relaxers. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I took that, went home, or sorry, went to work, just excruciating pain, had to leave early. The next day, I woke up, it was worse. It wasn't helping at all. So I went to the emergency room because now I have to get on stage later on. I have to do the
Oh, right.
Tarantino show. And
Yeah.
I'm running around like mad during that show. And I tell the doctor, I'm like, look, dude, I have you ever heard the expression the show must go on? Well, that's the boat I'm in right now. I have to get on
Mhm.
stage tonight. Like, if the show goes down, the company's gonna lose,
Mhm.
thousands and upon thousands of dollars because of, the loss in beverage sales, like
Yeah.
essentially having to pay like it's a
Yeah. Gotta make it
non-negotiable.
happen.
I gotta get on stage. So he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a shot of steroids in your ass." He's like, this is sciatica for sure. Like I had the numbness and the tingling, the numbness in the
Mhm.
outside of my foot, like the left two toes,
Mhm.
shooting pain every time I stepped. Like I'm talking like bad, dude, and I couldn't sit down.
Gnarly.
It was even hurting when I laid down. It was
And
like there
this
was
this
no
came
relief.
on this came on out of nowhere, or was it something spurred it?
So in hindsight, I think, I was working full time. I was
Mhm.
studying. I was doing Tarantino. It was just too much. And
Good stuff.
I was sitting a lot at my 40-hour-a-week job and on the computer.
Yeah.
And I was sitting doing, driving to and fro. And I was sitting doing my studying. So I was like sitting way more than I normally sit. But I was also really, really stressed, because I had just too much going on, just too much. And so then, this fires up. Guy goes, I'm gonna give you a shot of steroids in your ass. I'm gonna give you a shot of fentanyl. And I was like, whoa,
Woo!
dude, fentanyl? And he was like, I
Woo!
know it sounds really serious, but this is like a medical thing and it's been being
Yeah.
used for years. It's just when it's a street drug that it's dangerous. Like this is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
look, dude, you're the doctor, but I want to tell you something. I'm in recovery. I have no interest
Uh-huh.
in getting high. I just want this pain to stop and I gotta get on stage tonight.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you're in this amount of pain, it's not gonna get you high. It's just gonna give you relief. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, go ahead, doc. Boom, boom
Yeah.
and some pain relievers. Okay. So then I'm
Uh-huh.
like, finally, the pain becomes manageable. And I get on stage, I do the show. My leg is kind of weird and numb, but I'm not in pain. I get through the show, wake up in the morning. It's just as bad, if not worse. So I go through this little cycle. And then finally, it starts to abate. I stop taking the medicine, like the muscle relaxers and the pain pills.
Mhm, mhm.
And I start just taking like ibuprofen and acetaminophen. Okay. Well, as the listeners who have been listening for a while know, I'm on like a mood stabilizer for bipolar. And when I got off of all these meds, my bipolar kicked off like crazy. I got super manic.
Whoa.
And it came on really fast too. I was like thinking all fast and like I was like,
Mhm.
dude, I'm like on fire right now. I was talking to the student writing coach because you have mandatory sessions with the student writing coaches, and I was like, giving him my ideas about what my paper is going to be about, and then I'm just like firing on all cylinders, and I'm like, and the guy's just sitting there like, yeah, I mean, that sounds great. Do that, and
Cool,
I'm,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good idea, and I'm like, and then he could, and then I'll talk about this, and he's like, okay, great, so good session. And I get off and I'm like, okay, I am like super manic right now. This is not good. And then it got real bad. Okay.
Mhm.
I suddenly am tripping on 10 hits of acid and I didn't do any acid. So I'm freaking out, like
Whoa.
everything looks crazy. I'm getting goofy ideas. And what was supposed to be my
Yeah.
last session with my therapist, where I was like planning to have like a less clinical
Yeah.
conversation and just be like, I just really want to tell you I love you. I appreciate everything you did for me. And what's your deal? What do you got
Yeah.
going on in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
life?
yeah, like low
But
key. Uh-huh.
instead I'm crying and I'm like
God.
shaking and I'm like, I think she's like, what's wrong? My God, like, are you okay? And I was like,
Mhm.
no, I'm not okay. And I think I might be dead. And I'm in hell right now,
Oh my
like
god.
for real, like
Like
Christian
a
hell. And I've been here
actual,
for
like
years.
yeah.
And every joy that I experience is a furtherance of the torture. It's going to make it all worse later
Oh,
on when the real burning
man.
starts. And right now
Yeah,
you're the
yeah.
devil. And I know how crazy this sounds right now, which
Mhm.
is making it even worse. But if this is reality, I know how crazy this sounds to you right now. If this is reality, but if it's not
Mhm.
reality, then you are torturing me. And she was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
That's not what she said, but she was very, very sweet.
Probably just like you should head to the doctor.
She was like, "You should go to the hospital right now."
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go and I have to go and do the show tonight."
Oh my god.
I'm like I'm like literally losing my mind, you
Mhm.
know? I'm on the verge of losing my mind. I'm terrified, and every billboard I pass is more proof that I'm in hell. Every song that comes on the radio is more proof. Like, I'm having a nervous breakdown,
Mhm.
I'm in psychosis. I get to the show and I tell one of my castmates what's going on, and he was like, "Do you mind if I pray with you?" And I was like, "Whatever, dude, I'll do anything."
Sure.
And so he prays with me, for me rather.
Huh.
And something about like, let this guy's anxiety be lifted and let
Mhm.
him, do what he needs to do tonight. And I shit you not, I had one of the best shows I've ever had in my entire life.
Mhm.
I had like it breaks my heart actually to talk about like the self-hatred machine that runs constantly in the background was
Mhm.
just off I don't know remember the last time it wasn't running. Like,
Mhm.
before I make every decision, like, "You're gonna fuck this up," and then I do something, And then
Mhm.
afterwards, it's like, "You fucked that up." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You're a piece of shit. It's like this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
And, it was off, and I could hear the music clearer than I normally hear the music, and I was
Mhm.
making incredible in the moment acting choices, and then being like, "Don't think about how good this is, just be in the moment. Ask and listen to
Mhm.
your partner in the scene," and that I gave one of the best performances of my life.
Yeah.
And I get off stage and, like, I wanna cry because I'm just so grateful that this torment stopped, and I wish I could tell you that I was able to hang on to that feeling, but I slipped back into psychosis a couple days later, and I was finally
Yeah.
able to hey, Django.
Hey,
Listeners
buddy.
who
We
don't
got a
have the
dog coming
camera on,
in.
we got Django, the pup, coming in for a pat. But, I wish I could tell you I slipped into psychosis again, and once again, the delusion that I'm in Christian
Yeah.
hell
That's
is
wild.
back, and I'm like I finally get in touch with the psychiatrist, and I'm telling him, "I think I have schizophrenia. I'm, like, really
Mhm.
scared," and I'm crying, and he's like, "So you think that you're bipolar?" And I was like, "No, I don't think, like, 3 doctors think I'm bipolar." He's like, "Alright, let me ask
Mhm.
you some questions." And he asked me a bunch of questions, and he's at the end, he's like, "Yeah, so you are bipolar, dude. Like, you have
Mhm.
bipolar 1, it's the worst of the 2, and you're experiencing something called transient psychosis. It was brought on by the
Mhm.
steroids and the other drugs that you were doing." And for listeners, like, I've been sober for 8 years, so
Yeah.
doing what a doctor tells me to do and trying to take the medicine as prescribed to
Mhm.
me wasn't good enough to keep me sane, you know? And,
Mhm.
that was the most drugs I've been on in a very long time, so it's no
Yeah.
surprise to me, and this is a recurring thing in my life. This happened but
Mhm.
it hasn't happened in over a decade. This
Mhm.
psychosis, delusion thing that starts up,
Mhm.
I thought that that was all drug induced, which I guess it kinda
Mhm.
turns out that it was. However,
Yeah.
it's a feature of bipolar disorder.
Sure.
So, slipping into psychosis was really, really scary, man. But ever since
Yeah.
then, I've been like, you know, I mean, it's no secret, I'm not embarrassed about it at all that I believe in God. It's not like I
Mhm.
don't go to church, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a Christian per se, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
believe in a higher power, and I think that, you know, it's a feature of my recovery that I give my will to something greater than myself and try to be
Mhm.
of maximal service to the planet. And, I think, you know, I had a bunch of people come up to me and tell me recently, like, "You don't know what you provide to us when you get on stage and you live your truth and you're brave and you're up there doing your thing. Like, you have no idea how happy and how inspired it makes us." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Okay, so this thing that I'm doing that I'm, like, almost beating myself up about because it feels selfish," they're like, "It's not a selfish act at all." So now I'm just
Mhm.
giving this, like talent to me at this point is a gift. Like, I didn't have much to do with it.
Sure.
I'm a talented guy. That's a you know what I
Mhm.
mean? That is an objective fact. I can sing and act and dance and play guitar and all this stuff. I'm a talented dude. I worked on it, but it's still
Mhm.
something that was for free from the universe. So now, like, getting on stage and doing this thing has become more selfless, you know? It's like
Mhm.
yeah, so man, look, what a incredibly strange
That's
time all of that
bananas. You
was.
feeling better now?
Yeah, I'm better.
Good.
I'm better, and
That's
I'm
good.
on, like, a tiny little dose of an antipsychotic until everything levels out, and then
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
psychiatrist is gonna take me off of it.
That's bananas. Yeah, my pops had the similar thing where he was diagnosed bipolar like late in life and really high levels of stress, I think, is what in hindsight it seems like brought on these really intense like breaks with reality like that where he
Mm,
was delusional and having all kinds of and seeing it firsthand and in person like that it's tough cuz you'd like I can imagine how it feels. I've had similar things when I was fucked up like similar breaks like that and when you're in it, you feel so disconnected from everything and it feels so real. And from
yeah,
the outside, you're just watching. It's like when you see someone on the street, you know, it's the same
yeah,
thing where they're just yelling at nothing. And you're like,
yeah.
oh man, this person is just obviously disconnected. And it's tough because it's like, yeah, you know, it's,
Gives me so much more compassion for people that are going
my
through
God.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. And
know?
it's
I
just a
wrote a little
medical
song about it.
emergency. Yeah.
No, it wasn't I went to the hospital, and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
freaked out because the lady's face was terrifying, and I saw on the
Yeah.
lobby television the only commercial for schizophrenia medication I've ever seen in my
Hmm.
entire life.
Sure.
On the table was like a People magazine and it had Liz
Mhm.
Taylor on it and it said sex, love, and diamonds and lies or some shit like
Yeah,
that. And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is a trash planet. I'm in a
Yeah, yeah,
trash planet and this is
yeah,
hell. How did I
yeah,
miss it? How did I
yeah,
ever think that this
yeah,
was
yeah.
okay? You know?
Yeah, that's what it is. There's like a hyperbolic intensity to it where yeah, everything's connected. There's all this like you're finding meaning in things that don't have
Yes.
meaning and all
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I saw it a bunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad to see, but it's I'm glad it's one of those things. It's just it's a at the end of the day, and it's easy to make it feel metaphysical and like there's some deep thing, but it's a chemical imbalance in your brain, right? It's just like there's some shit going on. It's a physical thing that once you level out the the chemicals and the dosages and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, it you lock into a where you actually are, which is feeling like you're connected. You
Feeling like
can
I normally
objectively see
do.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I normally do, but also like it changed me, you know? Like it
Mm-hmm.
I'll be forever slightly different and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, those big moments in your life where there's a sea change as a result of intense emotional upheaval.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and all of the while I'm reading 1980
Sure.
psychology.
Yeah, you're also still it doesn't sound like the stress is gone. Like you're burning the candle at both ends kind
No,
of
I
thing
mean,
still
I'm
a little
out of
bit.
school right now.
That's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Good,
know,
good,
I'm
good.
out of school. I'm only doing the shows. You know, I'm not super stressed right now. It's just And in fact, I've been really focusing on releasing stress, like
Yeah.
releasing. Speaking of releasing, I released Jimmy Darkness Alcoholic
Yeah,
Superhero
man.
into the world. Literally had to release it because I was holding on
Mm-hmm.
to it so tightly.
Yeah.
And it's coming out on vinyl. I think I'm
That's
receiving the
cool.
vinyls this afternoon
How did
as we
I
speak.
I'm gonna talk about making the sausage a little bit. How did that work? Did you find like a vinyl company and then you get them to press it for
Yeah.
you or
Value
yeah.
Music Press, I think they're in Monrovia, and but if not, they're over here in LA somewhere. And,
Mhm.
it's a friend of a friend. He was, like, telling him, "Yeah, I think I wanna put it on vinyl," and he was like, "Oh my god." Like, my friend and I partner in this, vinyl pressing plant
Okay, that's
operation.
an LA sentence if I ever heard one.
You know, and I was like, "Okay, great. Well, then let's hook it up." And so, I mean, I have a vinyl master of the record, which is slightly different than the, high res
Mhm.
Apple version, which gets sent out all the digital distribution places. But the master is slightly different because apparently the bass has to be mixed a little different or it can jump the track.
Wow,
Yeah. So
interesting.
so now they're bringing it to me today. I've got it on
Cool, man.
bandcamp.com. You can just put jamesbias.com and it'll take you to the landing page. You can listen to it there. You can download the high quality digital files or you can purchase the vinyl record there. And
Very dope.
yeah, dude, I'm super stoked about it. I had like test pressings. I had 5 test pressings. I gave 2 to the producer Stain Malvi, and I took the other 3 and I gave 1 to my buddy's dad who did like the introduction to song 3, Bruce Lee. He's like, "Here they
Mhm.
are, Sonny Jim
Mhm.
and the Devastation," which
Like
is
wrestling, yeah.
yeah, this is Jimmy Darkness's band that he plays in, Sonny Jim and the Devastation, and gave one to my dad, bought him a record player for Christmas and
Cool.
gave him and
Oh,
then
that's a vibe.
one of my dad's neighbors has been supporting me for a really long time. I gave him one too because 'cause he's got a record player, so
It's very
it's
dope.
really yeah,
I
dude,
was
super cool.
I was hitting the gym today, getting back into shape from I did a lot of work and traveling the last month and a half. So I've been on
Out on
plane
the
like
ship?
you, sitting down, yeah, out on the ship. I got a new show out there that I had to go put up again, and it was awesome. It works great, but God, I do these direct flights from Orlando to Sao Paulo, and it's 10 hours
Yeah.
a pop, and I'm doing
Oh
it like
my
every two
gosh.
weeks. And boy, my butt is tired. So like I've been trying to do these. I got a personal trainer now who's one of the black belts at my gym is a like a licensed PT kind of dude, and he's
Yeah.
helping me getting my back straight. Speaking of like sciatica and stuff, I had a lot of lower back. I had like compressed disc issues, and been slowly getting back in from that. But all this to say, I was doing my stretches this morning, bumping Jimmy Darkness, and my superpower is my favorite on that record. I love that
Dude,
tune.
thank you.
I think it's a matter. I think it's a matter of there's like different because it's sort of a story concept album. There's tunes that hit from a place of like rage and being in the dark night of the soul portions of the story, and then there's these really uh I guess triumphant, but lack of a better word,
Yeah.
like choruses and stuff towards the end of the
Yeah.
album that I really fuck with. It's a good job, and it's
Yeah.
produced great too. The producer did a good job mixing everything.
Yeah.
Sounds good,
Stain
man.
did a great job. The mixer, John Spiker knocked it out of
Mhm.
the park. The engineer, Ali Niku, knocked it out of the park. Like it took
Mhm.
a village to make the thing happen. I'm still paying people back for it. Like
Hell
I
yeah.
begged, borrowed, and did not steal, but I begged and borrowed to make this album happen.
Mhm. Yeah, man.
And so, yeah, I'm paying off people that I borrowed money from. So please buy a record, listeners.
Mhm.
I want to thank Clay for purchasing a record. Big
Hell
Clay, who
yeah.
listens to our record and
Shout out.
breaks my feet. Thank you for buying the record.
I miss rolling with Clay, man. I remember he's a much bigger man than I am. And I mean that in a strong way, not like he's like a, he would call me out for trying to call him fat. But I basically every time I rolled with him, he would murk me. And we even did a game where I think I said it on the podcast before, where I'd be like, let's see how many seconds it takes for you to tap me.
Yeah.
Like there was literally sometimes we'd like dab up and then it would be like 13 seconds later, dude
Yeah.
would have my foot. So but I miss him because it was always so joyful. Even when he was murking me constantly, it was a joyful
Yeah.
roll with that guy. It's fun dude. Shout
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's
But yeah,
an incredible jiu-jitsu.
yeah, man.
I haven't been to the Pasadena gym in a minute. I go there for rolling sober on Sundays, but
Yeah.
dude, Philip got his blue belt, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just
awesome.
like so stoked for him. He's been like he really fell in love with jujitsu,
That's so
you know,
awesome.
and
Yeah, I saw that how fast he went from being just someone showing up to rolling sober to being a
yeah, man.
registered blue belt, man. That's
And I
awesome.
feel so honored to have been a part of his blue belt journey, you know, or his
Heck
white belt
yeah.
journey, however you want to look at it. But like, you know, just to have been a part of that and been his like kind
Very
of like
dope.
his first coach
Yeah,
was
man.
what a thrill. And I'm so happy for him. And it's not going to be
Yeah.
long because he's strong. He's like a freaking tank. It's not going to be
Mhm.
long before he's catching me and stuff, probably as a blue belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's going to
man.
be like Clay because he's just so committed to it. And I'm looking forward to that day. He almost caught me the other day in a little head and arm, and I just had to like talk on the phone and breathe through a straw for a little while. You know,
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
my
feeling.
neck was all jacked up because he's so
Man,
strong.
it's tough. Teaser alert. I think we'll be landing this plane here soon, but I think we'll talk about some injury stuff moving forward because man, I feel old. I don't know about
Yeah,
you, but
yeah, I'm feeling
we'll
old
get
too.
into it next step.
The sciatica, and I gotta say something too. Like I
Mhm.
went to Doctor Mike Delacourt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and Doctor Mike got me right. He does like a
Mm.
myofascial release technique, and he knows exactly how to treat sciatica. He get in there with his thumbs and then bend your leg and just like dig into your
Oof.
freaking muscles. Like you can feel him like reaching in between two muscles and digging his thumb in there, and it's like
Woo.
so painful and yet so satisfying at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I'm not somebody who wants one of those massages where there's sensual music playing and that I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
whatever is happening,
Candles.
I want it to hurt. I need
Yeah,
it to hurt for me to know that it's working. Otherwise, it's just
absolutely.
like, what are you I don't know. What are you
Yeah,
trying to do
man.
here?
I started hitting up a PT here, and yeah, similarly. It's funny because my Portuguese is really getting there. Like I'm. Last night I went to a show with my chick to watch a drummer friend of mine, and was speaking Portuguese all night. And it was funny because I clocked it like at the end of the night. And she was like, "Hey, you're speaking Portuguese right now." Like she was like, that like you're just talking. I'm like, "Oh, that's great." But going to this PT lady, when your head is in that space where you're just getting annihilated by someone's thumb like that, and then she just sort of is like, "Tudo bem." Like she's just like softly speaking Portuguese to me, and I'm just like, "It hurts" in
Yeah.
English. It's
What is
great.
tudo bem?
Tudo ben's it's all good.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, tudo bem.
Todo
Tudo ben's
todo
also
en
kind of
español
a C,
todo
kind of the
en
same.
español, and then bien, well, all
Tudo.
is well.
Yep, yep. Here it's funny though because it's sort of like aloha. Like they use it for a lot of different things. Like it's also hello. Like when you meet someone for the first time. All right, tudo bem, tudo
Yeah.
bem,
Like in
to the
French,
bomb,
ça
to the
va?
bang.
You okay? All good? Ça
Exactly.
va?
Yeah.
And
Yep,
then you
yep.
answer, yeah, ça va. Is it
Exactly.
good?
Yeah. To the
Yeah,
bang,
it's
to the
good.
bang. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the same here for sure. But no, it's been a vibe PT wise, getting our bodies right. But yeah, man, this is good. I'm glad catching up. I'm glad you got through the mental health episode. I'm worried
Thank you.
about you whenever that kind of stuff happens. Like,
I'll tell you who was
always,
very, very worried. My wife
I'm
was
sure.
terrified,
It's the whole
you know?
thing.
I felt
Yeah.
so bad for her because she thought I was losing my mind. I was losing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And now I felt
Mm-hmm.
like I was this close to having, like, a break that was gonna last forever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's a terrible
not to
feeling.
be able to come back from it, and that's a very scary feeling to be, like,
That's hella terrifying.
physically well, you know, and then your mind is just breaking, you
I'm
know?
glad you got through it, man. And
Thank you,
I'm
dude.
proud of you for this album, baby. It's a banger. I want to see you. I want to see you doing that Hollywood Boulevard thing where you just pull your car down there and pop the trunk open and start flipping those vinyls like
Right,
that.
right, like the dudes in Venice
Yeah,
Beach. Yo,
Yeah,
yo, yo, come on,
exactly.
get this
Get
record,
that
yo.
record. Get this
You
record.
know?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
wanna see
they're
it.
gonna
I
let
wanna
me
see it.
sell it at the Tarantino show, and we just finished this
That's
Christmas
awesome.
show. We had Joey McIntyre was the host in the Christmas show from New Kids
No
on the
shit.
Block. Yeah,
That's cool.
really sweet dude. Him and me are gonna go have breakfast at some point in time. We got along really well. We're vibing, talking about music. He wants to tell me about how to tour. I'm
That's
like,
cool.
well, buddy, it's gonna be a little different for me because no one's gonna show up to my shows. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
sure,
Like,
sure. Yeah.
nobody
Yeah, you
knows
do
who I
some
am yet.
lo-fi
You know?
stuff. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Well, you gotta let me know. You gotta ship that bad boy down to Brazil too. I'll take a disc at
I
some
think I'm
point.
gonna have to wait for you to come here, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like, otherwise, I mean, I did set it up to where I think international shipping adds like an extra $50 to the price of the record. Does
yeah.
that sound
That's usually
fun?
how it goes. I'm looking for some music gear right now, and a lot of it is cheaper in America. But then
Yeah,
to add, when you look at once you
yeah,
get it across that customs line, baby,
yeah.
they'd be hitting you with some
Yeah, yeah.
stuff.
So
So, but all
you
good.
gotta come
I'll
in
come
with
up.
it and then pay customs,
Yeah, man. Depending
technically
on it.
speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depending. So yeah, the easiest way would be me to make a little jump to LA and get a gift, and I don't need to pay customs on a gift like that unless it's like
yeah,
tens of thousands. Unless it's like a Rolex. But like I brought in my microphone that we're podcasting on. I brought my mic to my last job trip, and when I came back in, this is the first time I've ever at Guarulhos Airport in Sao Paulo. They put me aside and asked me to go through customs because they saw the mic I think in my
yeah,
suitcase and asked
yeah,
me about it. They're like, "Compre ahí? Like, did you buy it there?" And I was like, "No, Ayo, it's mine." And the
yeah.
dude just kind of like looked at me for a second and then gave me a thumbs up. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, so I think if you say it's like for personal use, whatever, you can get a lot
Right,
in. I'm
right.
trying to get like some amplifier equipment and yeah, trying to do that dance.
I wanna get, like, some vintage audio equipment. Like, I want a vintage
Hmm.
stereo receiver, ideally a
Man,
Marantz or,
I
something
was
like
gonna
that.
say I think we're at that age when we're starting to do the midlife crisis, like getting really into vinyl. I could see
Yeah,
you doing that right
I
now.
know, but it's so cool, man.
Cool.
It's
Yeah, man.
so cool to, like, listen to something on vinyl. It's like, you hold it in your hand, you put it on the thing. I miss CDs to a certain degree,
Hmm.
but, like, they would get scratched and stuff. But,
Yeah.
man, I love, like, having a tactile experience where you're holding the music in your hand, you know?
I got me
It's
a
nice.
I got me kind of a shitty little Vitrola, the little suitcase record
Yeah.
player here, but
Yeah,
it does
yeah,
the
yeah.
trick. And
Crosley?
yeah, brother. And I got there's a lot of cool vinyl down here. Brazil has like a really rich history of
Yeah.
like, music obviously, but there's just
Yeah.
like a ton of really sick. There's a big resurgence now of people like YouTube DJs, when people just like get in front of a bunch of plants and just spin a
Yes.
bunch of like soul records. There's a lot of those kinds of folks that
Awesome.
my girls sort of connected with or whatever. And so there's cool little vinyl shops, even in my town, which is not a big, it's like a million people. There's like three or four vinyl shops. So I'm going to try to really dive in,
Yeah,
get
I'm
it going.
wondering, like, what is the rule for, like, listening to music on a podcast? Like, if you were like, "Hey, I wanna share this song with everybody," like, what's the rule on
I think
that?
if we give credit to the people
And
and then we're also doing like critique, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
there's people like what's his name? G Derek is someone who does like a listening podcast.
yeah,
You'll hear it. Those guys are the open studio jazz guys,
yeah,
piano player guys, which are awesome, by the way. Shout out. I signed up for they did like a deal for like a full, get all their videos and Instagram. They're always popping on my Instagram and I did it. And man, these guys are so awesome. And yeah, anyway, so they listen to it. So I'm sure I think you just got to say it. It's kind of free use thing.
that's cool.
Give
I
credit so
mean,
the
like,
folks get
you and
paid.
I are both musicians, so I think it would be cool at some point in time. I really wanna share the song that I wrote about my little experience. I'm not my
Yeah.
very, very big experience that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you and I are both musicians. We're obviously
Yeah.
making music. Music is our life. As much as
Mm-hmm.
being sober and doing jujitsu are a part of our life, so is music. And I would like to introduce an
Dre.
element of music to this
Yeah, man. You could
podcast because
definitely
it's
drop a
important.
link in the description now for sure for the record and
Yeah,
all that.
I will.
Most
I'll
definitely.
drop a link in the description for Jimmy Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
that'll
much it
do
for the
us.
day, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we covered a lot of ground.
we did. It's good to be back. We're gonna try to we say this every single time, but we're gonna get more consistent with the dropping of these
We are.
episodes. Get more
This
on a
is
schedule. We just been both real busy,
We also
but it's coming.
learned we also learned how to use the software that we're using to our advantage
Mm-hmm.
the last
Mm-hmm.
time that we did it, so it's like we can see, "Okay, this is easy, this is doable, we're gonna get into a rhythm." And I would
Heck
like to
yeah,
start dude, we need to get our first female guest on here, you know what I
dude,
mean? Like, it's been all dudes, we need a female on here, I don't know,
brother.
you
I just
know?
caught I caught wind of a really awesome podcast called Les Roll. There's these 2 ladies, and
Let's
you
go.
better
Let's
believe it,
get them on
yeah.
ours. Let's do a
Some 2
like a crossover episode.
really yeah, really dope LGBTQ. I mean, it's in the title, lesbian ladies from I think they're
Yeah.
from Decatur, Georgia, or somewhere down there in the South, and their
Yes.
podcast seems really dope, and I wanna just cold call them and link up because they're kinda got similar vibage in terms of talking about jujitsu culture and also sort of, yeah, just positive stuff all around. But yeah, that'd
Nice.
be cool. Get some
Yeah.
ladies on here. Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
look, dude, we can get any lady from either gym and have
Absolutely.
like a jujitsu conversation. I have so
For
many
shizzle.
questions, you know?
Oh, man. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Let's do
All
it.
right, cool. So if you know a cool lady who's sober and does jujitsu, that would be awesome. I would love that.
Come on
Like, hit
now.
us up in the DMs. If you're a female and you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you want to be on it and you're a jujitsera, and you
Mhm.
know, and if you're sober, even better, little double. Or if you're just a sober lady, great, fantastic. We would love that too. And I want to throw out there, as I do at the end of every episode, if you or someone that love or know is struggling with the disease of addiction, please DM us and we can point them in the right direction to get some help.
Absolutely. Hit us up anytime.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in again. Love you all, and have a happy new year because we're getting ready to do 2026.
Do
Let's
it up.
go.
Love you, babies.
Peace.
Ciao, ciao.